In this video, we're going to look at how you can use Google Sheets and data validation to make data entry a lot more consistent. So I'm going to go ahead and present my screen by clicking Present down the bottom here in Google Meet. And I'm going to bring up for us a spreadsheet that I've pre-prepared, which is a group of students and their target grades. And their target grades are in GCSE grades there. As you can see, these are just free entry type. I can put whatever grade I want in there as a particular target for a student. Doesn't matter what I put, I can type freely. But if I want to make that more secure, say for example, I'm sending this out to a group of teachers, and as teachers often do, we have an ability to reinvent the wheel. So we might put sort of an 8.5 or a 7.2 if we think they're a borderline. We don't want that, then we can decide on data validation. And we can enter that directly here, or we can make sure that the whole of this area, so that when we collect the mock grade and the current grade, are all consistent. And one of the ways we can do that is to use data validation. So over here, out of the way, I'm going to enter the possible grades that I want people to choose. And they're going to choose 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then I'm going to have a working towards, as well as an option for anybody that's really kind of struggling at the lower end of the spectrum. Now, if I want to include this information in here as data validation, all I need to do is highlight all of the cells that I want to use. In this case, it's these, but you might go a little bit lower in case you get new students join the class. And I'm going to go to data, and then come here to data validation. Now you can see you've got lots of options, but it's telling us that we're looking at the conditional grades sheet on this Google Sheet, on this tab. And we're starting at B2 as our first cell. That's the one that's highlighted. And we can change the range if we want to, but we're happy with these ones that are highlighted. And we're going to select, we've got a number of options. We can make sure that it's text, or make sure it's a number, or it has to be a date, or it's got to be a checkbox, or from a list of items we want to include, or a list from range. And that's the one we're going to choose. So we come over here and we select the data range. And the data range I want to select are these cells here. So I just highlight them, and it picks up J2 to J11. And I just enter. If people enter incorrect data, it will show a warning, or you can reject the input altogether, so they can't possibly put anything that's not allowed. And you can show some validating text help if you need to, but because it's going to be a drop down, there's no need. So I'm just going to click save, and that's now populated my drop down. So when I go through and I enter their grades, I've only got a choice of these particular ones that I've got here. So this student, for example, might be working towards. And if I try to put in 5.2, it rejects it. It won't let me do it. I can only put in a 5 or a 4 or whatever it might be. So I can enter my grades however I like, and I can just go through and I can put these in just by using that data validation for their mock grades. Just completely randomly at the moment. And as you see, if I try to put in again, it won't let me do it. It violates those rules and it won't allow it. So quite a useful tool to make sure that you get your data consistent, particularly, say, for example, if you are teachers on a shared class and you want to make sure that your data tracker is consistent. And then later on in the year, I might come and do their current grades. And again, that might build off, that's going to build off of exactly the same process that we've got there. Okay, so that's how we can use data validation to make sure that our data input is consistent.